Welcome back to the 6 a.m. Club where we start our day inspired. Today, we're diving into a thought-provoking concept inspired by a quote that has stuck with me, and it's this: a mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. Let that sink for a moment. Have you ever experienced something so transformative, so eye-opening, that it forever changed the way that you see the world, that you see yourself, or even your future? That's the kind of growth that we're talking about today. But let's start with this. What does it mean to stretch your mind? New experiences challenge us to step outside of our comfort zones. They push us into unfamiliar territory where we're forced to think differently, to adapt, to grow. And here's the thing: once your mind is stretched in this way, it doesn't shrink back. Think about learning a new skill or traveling to a place that changed your perspective or having a conversation that shifted your mindset. Those moments don't just add to your life, they redefine it. Let me repeat that one more time. Those moments don't just add to your life, they redefine it. I want to ask you to take a second to reflect. What's a moment in your life that stretched you? A moment where you couldn't unlearn or unsee what you just discovered. Maybe it was when you got your first job, or when you became a parent, or maybe you read a book that turned your world upside down. Now, here's the catch: stretching isn't easy. It's actually uncomfortable, and sometimes it's downright scary. But discomfort, I believe, is the birthplace of growth. When we avoid new experiences, we stay within the bounds of what we already know. We limit ourselves. But when we take that leap, when we embrace into the unknown, we unlock potential that we didn't even knew we had. For me, one personal example is starting this podcast. I can't believe I've been doing this for 5 years. But if 6 years ago or even 5 years ago, you would have told me that I'd be speaking to you weekly here on the podcast, I would have laughed. But here we are. Starting something new felt awkward. And I was very vulnerable, but it also stretched me in ways that I will never regret. And for me, there is no going back. What I've learned in the last 5 years, the way that I have personally grown, no one is taking that away. I can't go back to the version of me that I was before I started this podcast. So ask yourself, where is your life? Where in your life are you playing it safe? And what could happen if you allow yourself to be stretched? The beauty of this concept is that stretching your mind doesn't always require massive life changes. It can happen in small, intentional ways every day. Here are a few ideas. If you want to stretch your mind, learn something new. Listen to a podcast, read a book, take a class on something outside of your expertise. Another way you can stretch your mind is to break your routine. Try a different route to work, a new dish, a new recipe, a new cuisine, or even a random hobby that completely is out of your comfort zone. Another way is to have deep conversations. Seek out people who think differently than you. Ask them questions, be curious. Another way is to say yes to challenges. Next time an opportunity scares you a little, say yes. You're ready for more than you think. Sometimes it just takes to say yes to something that scares us a little. Remember, growth doesn't have to be dramatic. It's all about those tiny moments when you choose courage over comfort. And that is a personal choice. When we stretch our minds, it's not just about us. It's about the ripple effect that we create. A stretched mind changes how we show up in the world. It influences your relationships, your work, and even how you approach problems. Imagine a world where more people embrace growth, where we saw challenges as opportunities and differences as something to learn from. That starts with each of us, with the small choices we make every single day to expand our minds. So here's my challenge for you this week: stretch your mind. Do something big or small that forces you to think differently, to grow, to expand, and then reflect on how it changed you. And before we go, I would love to hear the experiences that have stretched you. So send me a message or share it in social media and tag me. Let's inspire each other to keep growing. Thank you so much once again for starting your day with me here at the 6 a.m. Club. Remember, the only limit in life are the ones we place on ourselves. So keep dreaming, keep stretching yourself, and I'll see you back here next week for another episode of the 6 a.m. Club.